I saw an interesting interview with Ben Proud about his reasons for going over to the Enhanced Games. And he said, look, I achieved everything I wanted to achieve. I got a gold medal, I set records, I had a fantastic career. I'm kind of into the end of my career now. I know that I'm not going to get any better. In fact, statistically, I'm only going to get worse. So can I go to an event where not only will I get paid handsomely, but I'll also be able to compete potentially at the same level I was when I was at my peak? I thought that was a really good, nuanced way of looking at it, like a bit like Ronaldo going to Saudi Arabia. He knows his career's over. I'm not going to get 50 goals a year anymore in La Liga or the Premier League. Just ain't gonna happen. My standard, my pace, it's slowed down. Can I go and keep my profile high by scoring loads of goals in a slightly lesser league? His legacy's done. He can go away untouched, even playing in the Saudi league, can't he? And his legacy has been retained, I think, by going over there. I think Ben Proud's taking that same approach. That is my career that was natural, tested. Now I'm into this new phase of a career where I can take stuff, still perform well, probably get paid more handsomely.
Welcome to the Fit Dads podcast. I'm Brad Thompson. I'm joined as always by Ryan Dutton. And Ryan, this is the second half of our Enhanced Games podcast. This is the debrief. It's happened. It's gone ahead in Las Vegas. And we're going to discuss today whether the Enhanced Games that promised to change the sport forever, if it actually succeeded. Was it a breakthrough in human performance, or was it just a great marketing campaign? And ultimately, we want to know if the goal was to get faster, stronger, and better. What did we actually get?
We got a few things. World records, not many of them, that's for sure. Of the 22 events, only one world record was broken. Mm-hmm. And it's a contentious one, isn't it, really? I sent you a video, didn't I?
You did.
About a guy that broke down the swim. So the only record that was broke was the 50-metre freestyle.
Christian Golomeev, I think his name was.
How do you say it? It's got like is it a silent G?
I don't know.
How would you say that?
Golomeev. I'd say it's a silent K. It's Gkolom. I feel like the end is quite easy. It's Meev.
Golomeev, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say Golomeev rather than Kolomeev?
I'd say Golomeev.
Golomeev.
Yeah.
Gollum sounds... Anything that's got Gollum in there sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd say Golomeev.
Well, he obviously got a time of 20.81. Beating the 20.88 set by Cameron McAvoy. It's tricky, isn't it? Because the video I sent you essentially showed a timer and how the timer stopped before his hand actually touched the ball. Do you think, for whatever reason, they did the Enhanced Games and thought we need to at least beat one world record? And when it got to the swimming, which I think was one of the latter events, they realised no one's breaking any world records here. We need to do something. If that timer, if they're not near the wall, stop that timer before they get there and hope no one sees. But someone broke it down, so someone went over the footage. They pulled at their own timer and they played their own timer from the moment that the actual timer went on the TV to when it actually stopped. And it came back as being, I think, over 21 seconds, didn't it?
There is a very logical explanation for why that was the case.
Okay.
So the clock was enhanced as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, are you telling me that this marketing ploy of beefing people up and juicing them up prioritised... I'm not even going to say it. Prioritised optics over legitimacy of times?
Yeah, it's tricky.
Maybe.
I think if you come away from that event and no one's broke a world record, but this is my take on it, because there were some big hitters there. Like there's a guy called Fred Curley who's quite a decent runner, but and the interesting thing with him is he does the 100-metre sprint. He didn't take anything.
This is my favourite part of the Enhanced Games, that they actually had people who were not enhanced and they still won events.
Yeah. There was it 3 people, I think, out of all the athletes who came out and said, we're not going to take anything. We'll compete in your games, the Enhanced Games.
We'll take your money.
We'll take your money, basically.
Take your money. Yeah.
We'll compete, but we are not going to be... and they got tested by USADA. So they've got all the kind of... the kind of papers and things from USAID say that they never actually took anything. Fred Curley did it because he wanted to make sure that he was eligible for the 2026 Olympic Games, which is it this year? Olympics?
No, 2028.
2028 is it?
Yeah, it's in LA.
Yeah, you're right. 2028. He wanted to make sure he was eligible for that, which is fascinating because the World Athletics Championship, the World Aquatics, they basically said anyone who competed is straight up banned, whether you took anything or not. So Aquatics have basically taken a harder line and said, no chance.
As a bit of a roundup of the results. So you've mentioned Christian Golomiev, who got 20.81 seconds in 50-meter freestyle. He got $1 million, by the way.
1.25.
1.25?
Because he won the event and he broke the record.
Oh, shit. Okay, fair play. I mean, organisers claim that athletes achieved 21 PBs across the competition. I'd like to know that as a percentage, but still.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
The men's 100-meter was won in 9.97 seconds, which was actually well short of Usain Bolt's 9.58. I've heard Usain Bolt actually had a headwind for that.
Really?
Yeah. Or was he going... I don't know if he had a headwind.
How can he have a headwind in a stadium? Did it just come down and...
Yeah, like it whips around, doesn't it?
Does it?
Yeah, in stadiums. You see some stadiums that are quite windy. But anyway, not to take anything away from the great Usain Bolt. 3 athletes reportedly competed clean and still won events, which is what we've just discussed. But yeah, I'm really intrigued.
Are you disappointed? Did you think it would be more?
Yeah, I'm really disappointed.
I did. I definitely thought there'd be more. But what I suspect is the case is you're not going to get the best of the best athletes competing in these kind of games. You're going to get, you're going to get 2, 3, 4, maybe the topper ones, or some are in the kind of the better. But most of them are going to be pretty mid-level athletes just looking for a bit of a payout. And I think that's what we saw. And when you compete, when you put those guys on steroids and all these other and have performance-enhancing drugs, the proof is they're still not as good as the top guys who are clean. That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, I don't want to say I told you so. I did say this in episode 1 that you're probably just going to get very mid Olympians, which is still a very high standard, by the way.
Oh yeah, phenomenal standard. But compared to the creme de la creme and the record setters and the world record holders, still not good enough, even whilst enhanced. That's one method of thinking.
Yeah.
The other method of thinking is...
You beat me to this.
Is the Olympic Games more rigged than we think? Is there more suspect things going on now? Depending on who you speak to, I'm sure they'll tell you it is. And is there people out there that are going to do every single thing they can to not take stuff? No, for sure. Even the Olympic Games, I guarantee there is people out there who are pushing the boundaries. It's statistically right. Yeah. Even Dave Crossland, the expert on performance-enhancing drugs that we had on a few weeks ago, even he said, was it something like 5,000 athletes had applications to take like steroids or...
for sports-induced asthma.
For sports-induced asthma.
Yeah.
So they're allowed to take steroids. 5,000. I mean, how many athletes compete at the Olympic Games and what percentage of that? Maybe just pull it up. You've probably got bigger access to that than I have.
How many
athletes compete at the Olympic Games?
Compete in the Olympics? Number 1 search. Approximately 10,000. No.
So 50% have got a thing that says they can take steroids, essentially.
I'm shook. I can't believe that statistic. That's crazy.
And
Surely not.
And Dave's opinion was, well, when did doing sports become so unhealthy? Why have so many athletes got asthma?
Wow, 50%. Yeah, there's 10,000 Olympians.
Nuts, isn't it?
That's really blown my mind, that. And I think, how do I word this? So when it comes to Olympians, the margins are so fine that you think that exercise-induced asthma, it makes you wonder, okay, is this, I don't know, is this needed? Like, is that what pushes people, just that extra centimetre, that extra half a second, that extra 100th of a second? Like, who knows? Who knows? The margins must be that fine at that
You're talking
level.
Hundredths of a second, basically, aren't you? Yeah. So, I mean, that's the difference. I mean, in the 50-metre freestyle that was broke, Christian Golomiev did 20.81. The record was 20.88. Again, it's a dubious record. It's still, I don't know. It's based on or maybe should we put a link to it potentially? The video that we share.
Oh, the video that I fully agree with that. I'd also like to link a post from a guy called Brad Stulberg. I can't remember if I sent you this or you sent me this.
I think you sent me it. Was it a really kind of quite nuanced view of the Olympics? Do you want to read it out?
Is that all right? Yeah. Is that all right? So there's literally a carousel of this really jack dude at the start line. And it starts off by saying the enhanced games are the latest example of pseudo excellence. There's nothing inspiring or interesting about seeing how many fistfuls of steroids, peptides, and supplements someone can shove into their body. Now, I'm just going to interject here by saying I think bodybuilding fans would disagree.
yeah.
But, and again, he's put here, let's call it what it is. It's a marketing ploy to normalise doping and sell loads of drugs to ageing men and women.
Well, do you know what the fascinating things, which I didn't realise the enhanced games were going to do off the back of it? Because when I watched some of the events, the amount of adverts there were for like TRT and enhanced is now a brand, you know.
What?
Enhanced, the enhanced games is now, they've got this brand called Enhanced.
Right.
And you can get tests for TRT.
Right.
So they're selling that off the back. And they're also doing peptide tests. And they're also doing supplements as well.
Right.
Have you listened to this?
No, I've not.
Put in enhanced games products.
Products, surely not.
Oh yeah, they're selling stuff off the back of it.
This is why nerds shouldn't run sport. They just make everything. Yeah, mate. I mean, website looks pretty good, to be fair. Got products. We have got. I mean, it's split up into stronger, longer. There's some peptides. Okay, this is interesting. Right, semaglutide.
Yeah, you can get weight loss stuff. Anything that's like legal.
Testosterone cream.
Testosterone cream.
Whoa,
yeah.
This is nuts.
Yeah. So I remember watching one of the events. I think it was on YouTube. And at the end of the event, it basically said, if you're worried about your TRT levels or your testosterone levels, take this test. We can prescribe some TRT. Get your exact enhanced stack. They'll call it like an enhanced stack.
Brad Stulberg in this post does go on to say about watching a famous longevity influencer call the games. Brian Johnson, the guy who's trying to live forever.
That's right, yeah. That was a really weird appointment as a sports commentator.
Yeah, and he had an umbrella to protect him against UV rays because, of course, you just need a UV umbrella to stop yourself, being exposed to UV rays. He goes on to say, if these folks are so concerned about longevity, how can they possibly support doping people to the gills with substances that are linked to harm? Mm-hmm. And the entire thing was unbelievably hypocritical for me.
Yeah, everything. Even the appointment of himself, Brian Johnson, because his whole thing is longevity of life, but he's now at an event where people are taking performance-enhancing drugs, which has been proven to shorten life. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? You're basically bringing him in almost as a bit of credibility, because people see him as the guy who's in the know. He's got a bit of credibility in the world of like longevity of life and understanding these things. And if he's there promoting it, you automatically think, oh, well, it must be okay. Yeah. There's that air and they're creating that sense of security.
I'm a bit of a sports purist where maybe it's naivety. Where I like to see things in its purest form. I want to see the very, very best go up against the very, very best. And what happens behind closed doors, again, I'm oblivious to. Any professional athlete I see on a sports pitch, on a stage, on a court, I want to believe that they are there from hard work and talent and grit and determination.
What was that thing that football tried to do recently, where they brought out that was it Super League?
Oh yeah, and everyone just went.
I think the enhanced games is like the Super League in terms of it mixing things up, being quite controversial, being an alternative. It also is in the same vein as, what was the alternative to the PGA Tour that came out? LIV Golf.
Is no longer a thing.
It's a bit more, it merged, didn't it, with the PGA, essentially.
I think there's something very it's a bit murky water when you have billionaires just playing around. That's how it feels. It's a bit like, I've got some pocket money. Let's use these sporting like stars as lab rats, basically.
Yeah, I do believe there's a little bit of a monopoly in certain sports. Like the PGA Tour's kind of got it all nailed down. I mean, there's a European Tour, but PGA on that as well. So there's a bit of a monopoly in golf in terms of like everyone just plays on that. So I didn't blame really LIV for doing that. But is the kind of parameters around the enhanced games are different because you're essentially bringing in substances, banned substances in certain federations and saying you can take those now. That's never been the case in LIV Golf. They just basically set up an alternative for it.
Yeah, and just chucked a shed load of money at it.
Yeah, same with like the Super League. It was just like, we're going to come up with this alternative league that you can do in the year. And really it's all money orientated, isn't it? Like LIV gave their athletes loads of money, said to come over and join us, as did, the Super League. If you looked at like what the top clubs are going to make, it was like hundreds of millions.
But then where's that leave everyone else? It's just you've been cherry picked out of what? But not necessarily history in some cases. It was just you have the biggest marketing base. You've got a market in Asia. You've got a market in Australia. Whatever. Like that's what it would seem to be based on. The heritage of these clubs were.
You definitely got that sense within golf. So who they decided to get over to LIV wasn't always based on who was the best players either. I remember there's a guy, Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Is he Sheffield lad? I think he's Sheffield.
Yeah, he is.
Matt Fitzpatrick. Yeah, he's from. I think he used to play at Hampshire, didn't he? Yeah, he's a Sheffield golfer. Plays in the PGA Tour. Phenomenal golfer. But his presence online isn't like the best. Like he's a typical Yorkshireman, right? He's not the most excited of characters, but he's an awesome golfer. And he spoke quite openly about how LIV came to him with an offer, and it was almost like comical. It was like, you're playing all these other guys millions and millions. Why am I getting hundreds of thousands? Well, I'm a better golfer than these people, but his presence online, his draw wasn't as big, and so people were being signed not just for their ability, but for for how many people they could pull over. And like I get that as well. Like,
they're paying for eyeballs, aren't they? Really?
Yeah. And I think to a certain degree, a lot of clubs sign players based on that. I think there's been appointments to like Man United in the past, certain Japanese players, shall we say, Chinese players who they know are going to bring a lot of eyeballs from the Asian market. I mean, how many Asian people do you know that are like Man United fans? Most of the Asian people I know support Man United because over the years they've signed all the top Asian players. They've had some great ones. I mean,
Ji-sung Park were
incredible. Kagawa, was it?
Shinji Kagawa.
He was good. So that's some good players. Workhorses, aren't they? Rather than like finesse players.
But even now, just to contest that a little bit, have you seen Japan play recently football?
No,
they're amazing.
Are they?
Good. Very technically sound.
Great
There's a lad who plays for Brighton. I can't remember his name. I will remember this.
I'm out of touch with football. I'll help you out, but my knowledge is
there's a winger who plays for Brighton, and he's insane.
Okay,
he's unbelievable as a dribbler. He's got it down to an absolute art. He's wonderful to watch. I've put here about free market as well. Like, I don't mind if someone comes in to try and disturb the monopoly, but when you're trying to disturb something like the Olympic Games, which has got so much prestige and so much history.
You're also, as well, you're trying to undermine it a little bit by adding something in there that's inherently banned.
Yeah, I think you've got to go in to try and make it better. You have to go in and think, if you've got free market, and you'll say, well, we're going to set this up to try and make things better. It's got to be better. And the first round of the Enhanced Games was not better.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we need to cut it a little bit of slack, though, because it is the first event. It's the first iteration. Is it giving some people a chance to earn more money? Yeah. Is that a bad thing? No. Is it dangling a carrot for people? Yeah, for sure. Is it giving them the option of being better over time? If for whatever reason, let's say next year, every single one of those same athletes joined, and maybe a few others, and everyone actually got pretty good, better. Second time around, we got 3 or 4 world records and they weren't contentious. You're now thinking, okay, this is 2 years on the bounce now. There's been some records broke. Year 3, this is interesting, it's going again. A lot of the comments were actually saying they should do this like twice a year. And the guy didn't rule it out. He says, I'm not against doing it more often, but we'd have to make sure it's not, interjecting with anything else in the sports calendar.
I think what's hard with this is, like, I'm a bit of a purist where, like I said, I do believe that sport is quite special because it's human. Do you know what I mean? It's not science. It's people having a set amount of rules and just going and playing. But the world isn't really going that way, is it? You look at, and again, to bring football up, I will steer away from football chat in a minute, but every European trophy this year, apart from Champions League, sorry Arsenal, all the smaller, like Europa League, Conference League, they've all been won by English teams.
Have they?
Like Villa won Europa League.
They did, yeah.
And Palace won a Conference League. And their budget compared to every other team in there is so much higher. So they should win it. It's special because they don't normally win things, but their budget is so much higher. And usually what happens is the teams who've got the biggest budgets normally do better.
Yeah.
But it only takes, and when something's propped up on this, similar to like the LIV Tour, right? Am I right in thinking the Saudis have pulled their funding because...
No, it merged with the PGA.
Merged, right.
I'm not sure the exact details. I kind of lost. Maybe you can search it now. Just search, is the LIV Tour still going? I know it merged with the PGA. They did basically a deal.
It says it's still going. It's still operating and playing. However, the tour is in a state of major transition and faces an uncertain future. So the main thing is funding loss. So the Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, or PIF, has announced it will cease funding the LIV project, probably so they can go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I just think what happens when Peter Thiel gets bored, or when some controversy, which probably will inevitably happen with Peter Thiel, comes out and people go, don't really fancy taking this dodgy guy's money, actually.
It's a business move as well. Like,
it is.
What they've seen with LIV is it probably cost them a lot of money to do, didn't bring a lot of money back. They merged back with the PGA Tour on certain things. They had to kind of like break, their stance on this is something that we're going to do by ourselves. They probably need the PGA's help with certain things. And when it wasn't making a lot of money, like with most businesses, they just pull the plug. Mm-hmm. A lot of people can get burnt with that because you've had a lot of players move over, sign contracts. A lot of people, when it comes to the PGA, their stance was initially, if you go and move to LIV, you'll never play for the PGA again. They had to kind of redact that a little bit because they lost so many good players to LIV. And I think now, I'm not sure what the contracts are like now, it depends obviously on individual players, but I suspect what's happening is some players are still tied into LIV and they can't play in the PGA Tour, but you can still play in the majors.
Okay. So
you can't play in like the kind of the general PGA Tour, but if it's a major, like the Open, Players Championship, Masters, you can still play on those.
I want to see the best players in the world play against each other.
Same.
And
I think when something divides it, makes it, you're not seeing the best versus the best. It's like you always look forward to United versus Liverpool every year. Yeah. Every year, two good teams, big rivalry, good players. You want to see them battle it out. City, Liverpool, same thing. Arsenal versus City. You want to see those games. It's the best versus the best. Two teams in the league who are smashing it. If the Premier League divide and you say, right, Arthur, you're going to go over here, well, I'm not going to see it. I'm never going to see Man United versus Liverpool now. There's a bit of a tinge off that, isn't there? LIV definitely did that. It divided a lot more. I don't think the enhanced games does. Or does it? No, it must do, because if you go to the enhanced games and you take steroids, then you can't ever compete again.
And as we know from Dave Crosland, those satellite cells will stay on your body for 5 years.
Yeah.
So realistically, you can't go anywhere near an Olympic Games for 5 years. So depending on if you've just competed in one, you're missing 2 Olympic Games in 5 years because of the 4-year gap, obviously. You are missing that. It's because of the 4-year gap, obviously. You are missing that.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap, obviously. You are missing that.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap, obviously. You are missing that.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap, obviously. You are missing that.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap.
I saw an interesting interview.
It's because of the 4-year gap. 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 Because of the 4-year gap. It's 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 bothered me a bit, this, because money will talk, everyone has a price, and you only have to think hypothetically, like if someone swooped in now and we're like, look, we'll pay you this much, you've got to come and do this. I've got a family now. There's a bit of me that would be tempted to be like, I'm going to put my ego at the door and I'm going to go for this. However, one thing I've written down here, Ryan, is what happens if youth athletes start becoming groomed to this? So if this continues to be a thing, someone says, why would I want to be an Olympian?
Yeah.
Why would I want to be an Olympian for any sportsman in the world of athletics, in basketball, in whatever? That is the peak. Imagine if the peak now shifts to, the enhanced games is now the peak. The earlier you start, the more chance you have of raking in the millions at the enhanced games, which we've seen the way the world's going, and you have to look and think, is that what world we're growing up in? That's the bit that bothers me.
Yeah.
That I'm not lost sleep over it, but that's the key message that I've had from this. Sleep over it, but message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is. That's the key message that I've had from this.
Yeah.
It is.
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 Yeah.
It is.